As we conclude tonight, I do want to offer a couple of thoughts from a perspective of one who's done this work for 45 of legal services' first 50 years. I came aboard after 5 years, a couple of years in law school, and then a couple practice years, but I always followed legal services closely, even in those days. Looking back, I've been buoyed and carried, as we all have, I think, by the wonderful commitment of those who've carried the program, the staff and the supporters. And those staff are noted in your program by cohort in 5 years. Please look. But tonight, right now, I would like, nobody gets to shirk on this, all staff stand. And all board members stand. Please, now, and get a round of applause from everybody. Everybody in the room. This is your night and your recognition, and we're so proud of you. And to all of you who've supported us by coming tonight, I urge you, please take the materials. We took a moment or two to put them together, the history, the cases. When you get a chance, look at them at your leisure, skim through them. It's an amazing story. However trying and perilous this journey has been for those of us who have made it, millions of lives, that's millions with an M, have been made better by the efforts of these staff and their colleagues who are not with us tonight. That's looking back. Looking ahead, there are just a few thoughts I'd like you to carry with you tonight as you, who will be the torchbearers carrying justice, as Rakiba said in the first video, into the future. First, just general context. Legal representation and ultimately justice are denied to the poor, plain and simple, in far too many critical legal cases. There is no right to civil Gideon, as Chief Justice Barrett said, no right to a lawyer for civil legal problems. Our social science studies reveal that those in poverty will have lawyers for just 6% of the civil legal problems they face. These problems go typically to the heart of their very existence. Examples include preventing illegal loss of a home due to eviction or foreclosure, protection against injury and even death from abusers, shedding escalating usurious interest from predatory student and other loans that otherwise may haunt them for their entire lives, collecting essential child support, securing their entitlements to critical aid from government safety net programs, and enforcing employees' statutory guarantees to wages and fair treatment. So, about that, I would call on the words of Martin Luther King. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. I would add, justice for all is the concern of all. Any of us here tonight, and any of ours, our family, our friends, can be there needing this help. Not following the law in one situation, if unchecked and unrectified, may recur anywhere. Corollaries of that are ensuring counsel is not just the province or responsibility of lawyers. Given the seriousness of the legal matters to the poor who experience them in these critical cases, effective counsel, a lawyer, must be available to the full extent necessary for the poor to protect their rights, plain and simple. Failure to have the effective assistance of counsel obviously is likely to be catastrophic for these individuals and families involved. All of you know that. But it is also too frequently a terrible outcome for our society as a whole. Homelessness, unsafe housing, broken families, malnutrition, failure of children to thrive, permanent harm to health. These are some of the stakes, and every year, government, federal and state, spends billions, and nationally trillions, with a T, to remedy those problems after they have occurred. These corollaries in combination stake out the overwhelming case for adequate public funding, in combination, of course, with available private gifts to address this gap. A second principle that this suggests to me, New Jersey's legal services system has succeeded in part, in major part, because it is just that, a system. We remain a national model in that regard. We work closely together for efficiency and effectiveness every day. To do no less is the public trust we owe to merit our receipt of governmental funds. We pledge to continue that cohesion. Third, we recognize that not all legal problems confronting the poor merit full representation, but all require at least analysis and advice, and the majority require actual representation to the conclusion of the matter. So in all these cases that have merit and are of great importance to those involved and to society as a whole to protect justice for all, it is society, through government, that must ensure that all have counsel. Ensuring counsel requires sufficient and stable funding. To this end, as we look forward into the future and the next generation carries the torch of justice forward, we must, as a major part of our goals, enlist all in society, not just lawyers, to carry this torch. Effective, stable assistance of necessary counsel in critical civil matters must go beyond being an ideal, which is great, need that, or a promise, that's great too, need that, but to avoid and end the terrible wrongs and hardship that occur every day because of the lack of counsel, we must make necessary counsel in civil cases a reality for all who need it in New Jersey. Thank you.